Karen will read off all 150,000 of those later. So,
but I'll do it real sexy.
Yeah, all of them. How to win friends and influence people. That's not sexy. That's my don't get bit voice. Get bit audible. So last week we announced this ratings drive that I wanted to do. And we were at 870, and I wanted to see if you guys could get us to 900, and we got to 926.
Woo!
Amazing.
Nicely
That's
done.
56 ratings in just a few days. So thank you guys so much.
Oh, man, thank you.
They were all 1 star, but A.
They were all like, cheese and cured suck.
Yeah.
We hate you guys.
Any publicity is good publicity. All right. Anything else you want to talk about, or should we get started?
Let's get started.
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay, it's Deadcast Top 5, our top 5 highlights for Season 5, Episode 5. This season is flying by, and this one's called Self-Help.
Yeah, I can't believe we're already at episode 5.
Yeah, just a few more, and then we'll have a long break. So what do you think in general?
In general, I really, really liked it.
Yeah, this is you love these guys.
Yeah, it was exactly my cup of tea. It had everything I really like. It had a really brisk pace, which I liked. And although, sometimes I don't like these episodes that focus on one group, I didn't mind it because I love this group. And
yeah, that's the problem, is if it focuses on people and you're missing the people you like the most. But if it focuses on the people you like the most, then it's okay, right?
Yes, exactly. and this happens to be the characters I really like the most.
Yeah.
I mean, I could listen to them all day long. It was really fun to watch every single one of them. So I loved it.
I have a feeling that you like these guys because they're a little lighter. I mean, it was a heavy episode, but
it was funny too.
Funny, yeah. And even the way, like, I always complain that I think Abraham and Eugene are a little kooky compared to the rest. But you kind of like that, right?
I do.
I mean, I do too, in a way. And in fact, I'm coming around to it more. I still feel like they seem like they come from another story, but I'm getting used to it.
Good.
And in this episode, I thought it was I think it was their best. The best episode featuring these characters, for sure. So I thought it was a bit talky.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning. But I do think that these slower episodes are more rewarding when you watch it again and like pay a lot close attention. And especially if you're doing a podcast, you're going to do that. And then you get a lot more out of it. So like my second time through, I liked it even more. I give it 3.8 gags.
That's pretty good. I was much higher than you.
Yeah, I didn't like it as much as you did.
Yeah, I give it 4.6 out of 5.
4.6, that's high. The title, Self-Help, that's one of the things I liked about it, because I noticed a lot of different ways that I think it applies. There's the obvious one of Eugene staring through the self-help section.
Cue the sexy music.
Right. And I was thinking, if this was a rated R movie, I think he'd be helping himself in more than one way right now.
Right.
And then there was this whole theme of being selfish. Like, I think there was a parallel between Eugene and Gabriel. So Gabriel kind of helped himself to all that canned food at the expense of his parishioners.
Right.
Eugene lied about his zombie cure to help himself be protected.
Yep.
I think Abraham is sort of using Eugene as a self-help tool and his mission.
Sure.
Right?
I mean, Abraham, let's face it, Eugene saved Abraham's life.
Yeah. So far, I mean, we'll see what happens in the next episode. He might just...
Right. Might just have
got my gun?
It.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to insert that here.
I was thinking if you were going to write a self-help book for zombies, what would you...
Well, I think it's important, zombies. I think it's important to really maybe rethink this whole obsession with, eating humans.
It's like vegetarianism for zombies.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe humans wouldn't try to kill you all the time if you didn't keep trying to eat them.
Chill out.
Do yourself a favor, man. Just, you know what?
You should be an inspirational zombie speaker. That's good. Well, that's what my title is. Rawr, by Jason Kabassi. I had a few other ones. He's just not that into being eaten. I'm okay, you're dead. The road less shambled. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Zombies, or just How to Win Friends and Influence People, because I think that would be apply to the zombies. So.
How to eat friends and influence people.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, let's go. You go first.
My number 5 is, I'll just sort of riff on that, which is the humor in the episode. I thought it was really funny, and I really like that. I don't think humor takes away from the drama. In fact, I think humor is a nice counterpoint to the drama.
Do you think it's good to have some episodes that are just really heavy with no humor and then vary it up? Yep. I do too.
Yep. And this one was humor
heavy. I'm glad
heavy.
when they have ones that are humor. I liked it too.
And this group is, they make me laugh unintentionally and intentionally. I mean, just the whole mullet conversation in the intro, hilarious.
Yeah, because I liked it how Stephen Yun has good comic timing, because he was asking all these serious questions about the cure, and then he was just staring at him kind of like unbelievingly, and he goes, "What's with the hair?" or whatever he said. Why the hair?
Stephen Yun, another stand-up comic. He's really, really good.
Well, he's a what do you call it?
Improv. Yeah. Same with Josh McDermott, another stand-up comic, and really funny. Abraham had a couple of great lines, like, "Maybe I'll let you shave me down, dolphin smooth." Hilarious. And when Tara confronted Eugene, he said, "Cards on the table. I was watching them." I mean, that is so funny. It's sort of intentionally funny.
She's all, "Yeah, I got that."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love how also Eugene said that his boss, the smartest man he'd ever met, told him that happened to love my hair. My old boss, T. Brooks Ellis, the director of the Human Genome Project, he said that my hair made me look like, and I quote, "a fun guy," which I am. I mean, that's hilarious. And Abraham, even when he's standing on top of the fire engine laughing, and he's like, "What? This shit is screwed up.
Come on." And there was a sign that said, "Sick inside, let them die." I think that's what he saw that made him start laughing.
Oops.
And I like that. Yeah. You'd think at some point during this, you might just bust up laughing like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Inappropriately.
Yes.
There were a couple others. Glenn said to Abraham, "You better turn in. You got a big watch." And he goes, "Yeah, I really need some ass first." And he goes, "Didn't need to know that, but cool."
But, cool.
Okay. And then, of course, I thought one of the funniest was when Rosita, in the middle of sex, said, "He's watching us again over there in the self-help section." And then it kind of pans over and you see his little face sticking out, not too far away. And Abraham's just like, he's harmless.
He's harmless. He's harmless, whatever. Let him get some help.
That's pretty funny.
Self-help.
Okay, my number 5, it's sort of broad, but it's Eugene. I mean, I just felt like this was Eugene's episode. I mean, it's really Eugene's and Abraham's, but I almost felt like it was more Eugene's.
Yeah.
For some reason. For one thing, this sounds kind of twisted and wrong, but I really like seeing him emotional, distressed, scared, guilty, ashamed, because he feels more like a real person to me. And in this episode, in his most emotional moments, I felt more connected to him.
Yeah.
Like when he was scared to come out of the bus and help with the zombies, or at the end when he said, "I'm not a scientist, which I loved.
And he looked he looks like
enough.
I'm
yeah.
Sad. Oh,
and
it was
he's
awful.
sad because he's like, I may die now.
Yeah.
I'm giving up my plan to be protected, and this may be the end of me. And then he went in and started defending himself, which I also liked, because it seems like the wrong thing to say. He said, "I am smarter than you," and that got him a couple of punches in the face, and he may actually be dead. I don't think so. But.
I don't think so either. But his drop, actually, the way he dropped down, that was kind of funny too.
Oh my God, that was so hard though.
Yeah.
Like, God, to really fall like that and hit so hard. I didn't think it was funny.
That was kind of funny. I was like, "Wow, look at that."
But I felt so bad for him. And, he's not breathing. So I just think they don't want to let the character go right now. But I think if you did get hit that hard a couple of times by a guy like that, it could kill you.
Certainly.
Drive your nose right into your brain.
Right.
I liked that he, like I mentioned before, he made parallels with the preacher, Tara asked, she
Yeah.
could see that something was wrong.
Yeah.
And he's all, I was just thinking about the preacher and what he did.
Yep.
And I think he's thinking that guy let all his people die, and I have actually lied and caused some people to die or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And when he was waking up in the bus, he was mumbling about the preacher too.
Yeah. He said he didn't see another way out. I looked it up. That's what somebody wrote.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
what he said?
But I think the preacher was worse because Eugene at least says, well, I really do think it's safer in D.C. So if I lead these people there, they'll be safe too.
Yep.
It's still not a good thing to lie,
No.
and people did die along the way, but at least he has that in mind, other people's safety.
And he gave people hope. I mean, is that terrible? Is that awful?
I know. I mean, it's sort of like telling kids there's a Santa,
Right.
which I'm against. I don't want to tell Nico there's a Santa.
So you never help perpetuate that lie?
No, I mean, the closest I think I'll come, he's still too young really to get it, but I know probably there's a lot of parents out there going, you're a horrible person, but because people really are into that, right? But I don't like the idea of telling him that lie. And then, by the way, everybody, I'm sorry to let you know anyone who didn't know, there's no Santa. But
I know. Spoiler alert.
sorry, kids who are listening.
Spoiler
Oh my
alert.
God, there's probably some kids
You're going to have
listening.
to cut this out of the podcast.
I know. I'm just kidding.
God.
Anyway,
Thanks.
that's
Oh,
the
and by the
biggest
way,
spoiler we revealed so far.
Easter
on the
Bunny,
podcast.
not
I
real.
feel horrible.
and Great Pumpkin
And
also.
your parents are actually imaginary. I'm just kidding. So where was I going with that?
I don't know.
That's I will tell him it's a story just like a lot of other stories, but I won't make a point to say it's not real. I'll just be like, yeah, the story of Santa, just like all the other stories that he reads.
Oh.
So anyway.
Well, Santa lives in all of us. You can make that too.
Yeah.
And Santa is about generosity, blah, blah, blah.
I was curious while writing this up how many people who had not read the comics up to this point thought Eugene might have been telling the truth. So I went on Facebook and said, how many people, asked that question. And a lot of people had read the comic, but most people who hadn't said they either suspected or knew that he was full of it. Because it just seemed, they had a lot of different reasons. A lot of people answered this. There were a couple who said, oh yeah, I was totally taken in.
I believed him hook, line, and sinker up until maybe the second or third episode when I accidentally got spoiled. And I read something that said, we all know that he's full of crap. And I was like, are you kidding me? I just got spoiled. And so I had to sort of suspend. And
You wanted
pretend.
to believe.
I did.
Pretend not to know.
I
yeah.
did want to believe. And
I've
you
been
know
pretending
what?
not to know.
Maybe Abraham also kind of in the back of his mind. Maybe he sort of
yeah.
knew and that he just wanted to believe.
Exactly. Now we have a reason why Abraham is so steadfast in his belief,
Right.
because the alternative means he suddenly has no purpose and he
Right.
might as well just die.
Right. And his family died, and that was
Yeah.
so punishing to see that. Oh, that was rough.
I know. I felt bad for Michael Cudlitz for some reason. He's just an actor, but I was like, that's so sad, Michael Cudlitz.
Right. And I can we talk a little bit about, or maybe we
Take your
can't.
turn. Or about what?
Well, this is actually my turn too, because Eugene is
Okay.
my number 2. Can we talk a little bit about the difference in the comic with Abraham's backstory?
Actually, let's leave that to Grace and Mr. Block.
Okay.
They'll do that in their segment.
Fine. And then you can look forward to that,
Yeah.
listeners. They will talk about that. Okay, so my number 2 is the same sort of thing. It's the Eugene confesses. That's my number 2.
yeah.
And first, he confesses in part to Tara, and she, by the way, she
Yeah.
has another great line. Welcome to the human race, asshole.
Asshole, which was meant to be comforting, and it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of was actually. And it was nice because here's a woman who carried around her secret. I mean, after all, she jumped on the governor's bandwagon really fast, and she regretted it almost right away. And she experienced a lot of grace and forgiveness. And she was very kind to Eugene, even though he didn't completely confess to her.
And he made that crude remark to her earlier in the season, or maybe it was last year. I think you're really hot, or something like that.
That's it.
Because I like
So
girls. I'm all aware of that.
But I loved Tara in this episode, the actress who plays Tara. I love Josh McDermott.
Yeah.
He was wonderful. And I also love the moment when Eugene confesses,
Yeah.
because he finally knows that it's about it might be the end of him. And he even told Tara as much. But he's doing it because he's done with it. The thought of it is the thought of going into that zombie horde is worse, which is weird.
That's why. Yeah. I mean, it's felt a little contrived that Abraham would insist they go into the horde. And if he really wants to get this mission done, then take a detour. Right.
That was definitely one of the inconsistencies of the episode, when we have to suspend our disbelief and believe that although he wouldn't allow him to go through the tunnel shortcut because of all the zombies inside,
he's like, I've had enough waiting. Right. But, it's dramatic license. So the point was to force Eugene into confessing, and I'm glad that he finally did confess, because I thought they were going to drag it out even more.
Oh my God.
I'm glad that he did this episode.
Right, exactly. It's going to be interesting, by the way. The whole pace was kind of great too, because this mystery did not continue for very long.
That's what I just said.
Did you really?
I'm glad that they didn't drag it on. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry.
You're like, right, whatever. But anyway, let me get to this important point.
What's your number 3?
Also, about Eugene confessing, I thought the episode was good, but a little talky, as I mentioned, and it didn't. Up until that moment, I didn't have any moments, but I mean, I wasn't like, great job, Eugene, or anything, but it was very moved by it. And I mean, and also, I guess, also the part where Abraham sees his dead family, I was moved by that. And both of those happened at the very end. And when those happened, I'm like, okay, this is a good episode. Yeah. And even though I liked it okay up until then, that's what really pushed it over the top.
Oh, that's nice.
For me. Anyway. Okay, my number 4 is just all of Abraham's flashback.
Yeah.
We get his backstory, and as opposed to last week where there was tons of explication, in this flashback, it was all about showing versus telling, which I liked. I was sort of at first like, what's going on? Why? And then I'm like, wait, I just said last week that I don't want them to over-explain everything. So I think I kind of put it together that he was punching some dude with a can in his hand, and there were other dead guys around, and they were in a grocery store. And then he tries to find what seems to be his family, his wife and kids, I think. He knew their names. And AJ and Becca. And they're scared of him, presumably because they just saw him beat these guys bloody.
Yep.
I'm assuming that they were fighting over the groceries, maybe, or those guys were a threat in some way.
I think they were a threat.
Yeah, or both. Right. And later on, he says to Glenn, Abraham says to Glenn, people are either strong and they can help you, so you help them, or they're strong and they can kill you, so you got to kill them. And I think he's talking about what happened back then.
Yeah.
But he still feels like he has some violence, and maybe it's PTSD.
Yeah. Well, and remember, the night before, he killed a guy.
Yeah, and he punched Eugene a few times and then stared at his bloody hand, which was a callback to him, the very first scene, punching the guy with the can in his hand.
Right.
And he's like, I'm a monster. That's what it looked on his face. But it sort of made me think of like what Rick just did.
Right.
Hacked up the termites. Right. And how Glenn and especially Tyrese were like, holy shit. But then they forgave him. And it kind of made me feel bad about his wife and kids. Like, maybe it was because it was earlier in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah. And they had never seen, he's a soldier, but they had never seen him be a soldier. Mm-hmm. So here he is being a soldier and being a really good one. And they'd never seen that before, that side of him. And maybe they just momentarily freaked out, but it was long enough to get them killed. Right. And then
I just felt angry towards them, even though that's probably irrational. But maybe, I mean, if they would have shown him hurting one of them at some point, I don't want to see that, but that might make more sense.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, if I see David killing somebody, even if it is to protect me, it's gonna freak me out.
If I saw someone killing someone to protect me, I would give him a big hug. Thanks, David.
Thanks, David. It's sweet.
Yeah. So it would freak you out. Yeah, but I don't think you'd leave him, would you? I mean, it's hard to tell. You don't really know what would happen.
No, and they wouldn't have really left him, I don't think.
What if your cat saw you kill another cat?
Cat would be like, way to go.
Yes, I hated that.
Finally, my human's done something rather than just pet me and play with this stupid string. God, stupid human. Yeah, she'd love that.
Okay. Wait, let me just see.
And by the way, I got to say, ham-handed, no pun intended, ham-handed metaphor shoved down our throat about the wound on Abraham's hand reopening. Get it? The wound keeps opening up. The wound won't heal.
Brilliant. That is so brilliant.
And I'm like, really? Really? His wound won't heal.
It does lessen your credibility when you use that pun.
Ham-handed? I didn't mean it.
No, actually, it's equally brilliant, I would say. Yeah, totally, huh? That's true.
Yeah, they shoved that metaphor down our throats, but that's okay.
Just like he shoved his fifth down Eugene's throat.
Right.
Let's see if we can lace metaphors throughout this podcast.
No problem. There's a mullet metaphor in here somewhere.
Okay, your turn.
All right. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and say a related topic, which is the idea of hope and how hope is sort of the thing that saves you. In the last scene, after the first flashback, Abraham discovers his family and decides to end it. He's without hope. Eugene sees him and decides on a plan pretty quickly, because he's brilliant like that, to how to save him, and that's to give him hope.
I don't think that's what he went through his mind. I think he was like, oh shit, that guy just saved me and I would have died without him. I need help. How am I going to get him to protect me?
Right.
But that poor sad sack. I'm going to sprinkle a little hope. That's not what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. Okay. He needs somebody to protect him, and he is able to quickly read him and figure out what are you going to do to save somebody who's got a gun in their in their mouth. Well, you're going to try whatever you can, just like you talk anybody off the bridge. You can give them a little bit of hope.
No, I'm disagreeing with you. He didn't see the gun. He was fearing for his life.
I think he saw the gun.
No, because he's feeling guilty about using these people for his own protection. That's the whole point of this episode.
Oh, see, I always imagined that he saw the gun, and
I mean,
not that he's not trying to save Abraham. He was trying to save himself.
Yeah.
But he also thought, here's a guy who's really strong and who's also at wit's end.
Needs me.
And maybe he can help me get to DC.
I think that was just dumb luck that he saved Abraham's life. But you know what? We're disagreeing. But that's okay. But what does sort of lend your theory credit is the way that he was running away from those zombies looked really dumb.
He really did.
But I think that was, I don't know. It was just bad staging, and Eugene's an idiot. That's all. When it comes to trying to, deal with the zombies. He's like kind of keeping just a couple of steps in front of them, pointing back.
Help!
They're coming. I think they're getting faster. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was all just a sham. He said he was a good liar, and he is smart. So maybe he thought, hey, this is a win-win situation. I don't think so, but I wouldn't rule it out.
I wonder how Abraham's going to come back from this.
I know. I mean, he relied on this for his purpose. But the one thing that he has a few things now that he didn't have when this all started. He has Rosita. He has a bunch of friends.
Yes.
So I think he'll find the reserves within himself to keep on going. And will they still try to get to Washington because Eugene's right? Maybe it's a safe place, or will they just go back to Georgia?
Good
Stay
question.
in Georgia.
Stay tuned, folks.
I want him to go somewhere, keep going somewhere. That's the only thing that kind of bummed me out about this is they aborted their trip so quickly.
It's been interesting
to be on the road.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, me too.
On the road again.
Okay, my number 3 is Funny Things, which we already covered.
All right. My number 4, I'm going to say my zombie kill of the week. And my zombie kill of the week has to be, drumroll please, it's the zombie scene with Eugene on top of the fire truck, killing the zombies dead with a fire hose. I only saw this once, so I want to go back and take a good look in slow-mo and see how it looks, because the first time I saw it, looked awesome. And although the water conservation specialist inside of me did not like him wasting water, I really felt terrible about that. It was also a really fun zombie kill moment. And I like that they are so, the meat is falling off the bone. They're so tender at this point that you can just blast them with a really hard blast of water, because fire hoses are unbelievably hard So there you have it.
Okay, that leads right into my number 2, which is goofy things about this episode.
Oh, good, because I have some of those too.
Okay, so I like that he got busy with the fire hose because I think he was sort of seeing the writing on the wall that, hey, I need to pull my weight in different ways around here because the jig is about to be up.
Right.
So he used his smarts. But I thought that looked really dumb. And I mean, I definitely believed that if you somehow had a fully pressurized fire hose, I don't know how those things work, but it seems doubtful to me that it would just work, that it would knock the zombies down. But it didn't hurt their brains. And we've already seen this very season. Carol exploded that tank and the zombies flew away and then got right back up immediately.
You know what would have helped? If they had had a close-up of a zombie's head disintegrating in the stream of water. That would have helped.
Yeah, totally. Because you could see the heads and they were intact, I
Yeah.
think. So it seemed like, I'm okay with the rules changing a little bit for dramatic storytelling purposes, but this one really pulled me out of it. I'm like, why are they just laying there? They should be getting up. That's what zombies do.
Well, one thing to make you feel a little bit better is that on The Talking Dead, Gale Ann Hurd, they show a little making of vignette, and the actors that played the zombie extras had to wear masks on their heads to protect their faces from the water because the water would have actually hurt them if they had full and they didn't even pull up the full strength.
Full strength. No, I mean, I know, but like I said, we saw them get in an explosion so forceful that it threw them through the air,
right.
And they still got up. So,
yeah. Well, it does take a full-on head shot or a head injury.
It, like if their heads, I don't know, they got super soaked. I don't.
Do you have another suspension disbelief? Because I've got a couple.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay,
let's go back and forth.
The bus flips, and to me, the bus wouldn't flip if it at the speed they were going, which is not very fast, maybe 35 miles per hour, and they ran up against that like a little SUV or something. I think all that would happen is they'd smash into it. They wouldn't. They needed a ramp to do that scene. They constructed a ramp, and in the making of, they also talked about that. They had a ramp, and they had the bus go up the ramp and then flip over. Okay,
but it didn't flip over. It flipped onto its side,
and that's what I mean.
Okay,
but it went up.
It wasn't upside down.
It went up, and then it flipped over. And I'm saying that doesn't seem like it would happen physics wise.
That one, that bothered me on first watch. But then when we found out what happened, that he put something in the fuel tank,
Crushed glass.
Yeah, and then it exploded the fuel line, and I think for whatever reason that caused Abraham to lose control, and then there was some object, maybe another car, that they hit on an incline. So it was sort of like a natural ramp, or I don't say natural, but it was sort of like a ramp. And so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. They weren't going very fast.
All right. What's your next
second
one?
watch? It seemed okay. The whole thing. Well, it's just this is goofy things, and it's just the language that they use. They talk weird. I'm getting used to them, like I said, but there are so many examples, but just a couple. Glenn says to Abraham, hey, are you okay? And he goes, I'm fit as a damn fiddle. And then later on, he said, I am stressed and depressed to see that ride die. But if you say we're rolling, I'm good. It just doesn't sound like real people talk. And then later he says, I've been to 8 county fairs and 1 goat rodeo, and I've never seen anything like that.
What's a goat rodeo?
I guess you ride goats.
No one rides a goat.
I don't know. Or you rope goats. I don't know.
Maybe they get tiny little monkeys to ride the goats.
Ride the horses.
I would go to see the goat rodeo. If they get kittens to ride the goats, I would totally go to a goat rodeo.
I totally want to go to a goat rodeo.
When the bus flips, by the way, and not flips, when it crashes and turns over, why is nobody really hurt?
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, I think Abraham got kind of hurt, right?
His wound reopened.
But yeah, I guess nobody else really got hurt, did
No.
they? Yeah. Well, every time I've been in a bus that flipped over, I at least got bruised up pretty bad. So you're right.
Thank you.
That's all the ones I had. Did you have any more?
No, that was pretty much. And then why would Abraham insist on going through the giant zombie horde? That's all. Okay.
Damn fool.
Okay, my number one, which is actually my number 5, but I'm going to call it my number 1, which is hunkering down in the bookstore. I love that.
Yeah. And they were burning papers and books.
They were all doing their thing.
Like, just the fact that they were burning what looked like books and papers sort of felt like, well, this is sort of admitting that society's over doing this kind of thing.
Right. But then,
it's okay. I mean,
but then Eugene grabbed a book to read along the way. H.G. Wells, The Shape of Things to Come. If you had to grab one book that would be your desert island book, because we talked about records last week, what our desert island disc would be. What would be your desert island book? Your go-to
I don't know. I don't read that much anymore, but it would probably be some self-help book, just going with the title of
self-help.
Like maybe the Tao Te Ching.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because whenever I am feeling down, I open up the Tao Te Ching and read a random verse, and it almost always cheers me up. Sometimes you get to the part where they're talking about how to enact war on people. That doesn't help so much, but it's really good. You guys should check that out. I wonder if that's on Audible. We're doing audible.com this week. It'd be pretty cool if they had a version of that on there that we could recommend, but I haven't looked it up.
When I was an undergraduate, I read one page of that every day, and it was great.
Yeah.
I loved it. I think I would take something escapey, like maybe a Jane Austen Persuasion or something like that.
Not Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
No, that would just make me sad and bring me back to reality. I want a little escapist.
I looked up that book. I didn't read too much into it, but it's The Shape of Things to Come. It's a future. It was written in 1933, so it's almost like an alternate history, but I guess Hitler never came to power, and it's about this utopian society. And I think the goal of the society is to have it be completely peopled by what they call polymaths, which are just people who are good at a lot of different things and are geniuses, which I think Eugene fancies himself as. So I can see why he'd be reading that kind of a book.
That's great. Maybe I'd get that book. I also liked in the bookstore, there were just little glimpses of they're doing their little MacGyver thing. And I just liked that. I liked how they get water out of the toilet tank and then heat it up.
I didn't notice that stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. And then they made a little fire with wire hangers and trash can. And I think I caught a glimpse of a vending machine that they had opened up, which I thought, oh, no, that's cool.
I wonder, there must be, the writers of Walking Dead must do research on that a lot, how they must think a lot about that.
Yeah.
How you'd manage.
I don't know if you noticed that Rosita pulls a string from the spine of a book to sew up the gash on Abraham's hand.
Wow.
Yeah.
So resourceful.
Now, that's really clever.
Yeah, and they've done a lot of things, like how they make traps and things, or they make string things together as an alarm system to clank and all different. We should be watching more about that kind of, like the MacGyver watch or something.
Yeah, it's fun to see that.
Yeah, totally. Okay, my number 1 is this recurring theme in The Walking Dead of whether you need to be a killer to be worth keeping in a group, or what constitutes being useful enough, or what are the qualities. Abraham says it's gotten to the point where everyone alive is strong now, and I agree with that. But I think people are strong in different ways. And the way Eugene has been strong so far is to be a good liar.
Yeah.
and I do want, like, most of the people that we've seen on the show are strong in that they're badasses. They can handle themselves. I think, I bet you if the zombie apocalypse did happen, there would be some people who would be strong in that they're influencers.
Yes.
Just like there are in today's society. And I think the governor is one of those. He's also a badass, but he can manipulate people. And I think there'd be more people like that who could manipulate people.
Right.
And make people feel safe and stuff like that. So the pivotal scene is when Eugene says to Tara, if I don't cure the disease, if I don't save the world, I have no value. She says, that's not how it works. He says, if I couldn't fix things, there's no way you people would keep me around, share resources, even protect me. That's basically his whole thing. He's afraid. She says, of course we would. We're friends. We have each other's backs. That's it. That's how it works. And I think if he had said to Carol, if I couldn't fix things, there's no way you people would keep me around, share resources, she might agree the way she's been lately. And I'm like, sort of, well, how would I feel? I mean, I want to believe that I would, if I felt like somebody was a friend, I would do what I could to keep them safe and include them.
Yep.
But if someone was, and even if they weren't adept at killing zombies, but let's say someone didn't want to try to help in any way.
Right.
Then I probably would not want them around.
Yeah, he's got to step up. I mean, he's got to figure out how this is going to work for him and be useful to the group and be an advantage to have the group, have the group
at least
have him
show
around.
that he wants to help, right?
Exactly.
And he will. I mean, he's a good guy, I think. But if somebody was just sort of like, I'm helpless and there's nothing I can do about it, please protect me, and they didn't even try to contribute in any way,
right,
then that would probably be the person, or if they were obviously causing harm in some way.
And honestly, he did by putting the crushed glass in the fuel line.
Yeah.
That was bad. And also, I don't know if you heard that Josh McDermott said on The Talking Dead that when that first time that we meet him and he uses the automatic weapon and he shoots up the military vehicle that they're in, and he said he did that completely on purpose. Because he...
Yeah. He's even back then sabotaging stuff, huh?
Yep.
That Eugene.
So Eugene stopped doing that.
Yeah, if he ever did anything like that again after this, if they're already not going to kick him out, then they should kick him out.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't want to be stranded on a lonely road with your vehicle disabled. I mean, that makes you really vulnerable.
Yesterday, I was took Nico to a birthday party, and they had these big, thick pieces of chalk to write on the playground, colored chalk, and he dropped one and it broke in half. And he looked up at me and I was like, oh, it's okay. It was an accident. Then he took another one and dropped it on purpose and it broke in half. And I'm like, hey, don't do it on purpose. It's okay if it's an accident. Then he took a third one and did it.
Oh my God.
I picked him up and I'm like, you don't do that. If you do that again, we're leaving. And then he didn't do it anymore. But if he did it again, then I would have just left him there. No, I'm just kidding.
Testing daddy's limits. Fun. That's a fun age.
Pretty funny. So that's
I think we're
it.
done.
Notes.
Yeah.
So Michael Cudlitz on our panel told us that it would become clear that Abraham and Rosita are a couple. Do you think it's clear now?
Yes, I think boning in the library is pretty
Makes
clear.
it pretty clear.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. Just kidding.
And then they had the hardcore flirting. I'll let you shave me down,
that.
baby.
I like the flirting and her seeming kind of happy and rubbing her fingers through his hair.
And then shaving him down like a dolphin.
Dolphin smooth.
Ugh.
So that was the most explicit sex scene we've had in the show yet.
Yeah.
Which was sort of like, holy cow. I noticed they used, I don't know if they've been doing this lately, but in this particular episode, I noticed they use a certain move a lot with the zombies. They come up, put their hand right on the zombie's throat.
Yes.
And then stab, so they can't bite them and stab them in the head.
Right.
But,
I noticed that too.
But the zombies disappoint me because typically when that happens, they just keep their arms dangling and don't try to grab at people.
They're not very
Come
smart.
on, zombies. Don't be stupid like that.
They're pretty stupid. Sorry.
Be a threat, though. Come on, if you're going to get your brains to eat, you're going to have to use
Work
those
for
hands. You rip through Dale's guts, for Christ's sake. Grab at people.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on.
They didn't bite through Dale's guts. They actually ripped through it with their
they
hands.
Stuck their hands right in there. I just don't believe that zombies wouldn't try to grab at people. So, or I don't want to believe. I don't want to believe in a world like that. So I wondered, why did Eugene spit on the zombie woman on the side of the road? I didn't get that.
Josh McDermott in The Talking Dead, and make me shut up if you're tired.
No, I
of
want to
hearing
hear
this.
it. I'm curious. Yeah.
Said that this was his first real zombie kill, and although it was kind of more of an
He didn't
assist.
do it. He stabbed her in the back.
Yeah, I know. But it was his first time really stabbing a
Okay.
zombie.
Yeah.
And so he felt it was like when a comedian drops the microphone at the end of a good set, or when a football player
I
makes a
see.
touchdown and spikes the football.
Got you, bitch.
That's how he saw it.
Okay. I liked when Abraham thanked Glenn for coming with them, even though it felt a little bit like we got to fill up this episode. Yeah. And he said, you didn't have to, because I thought the same thing. Like Glenn could have promised that and then said, no, I'm not going to do it. But Glenn's too moral for that.
And Maggie evidently doesn't care about Beth.
I was wondering about that. In this episode, Maggie and Glenn were talking a little bit about, like, we're sorry we left people behind, but she was saying something about, well, we're going to focus on now, or I wasn't sure what she was saying.
She said something like, last night was about how things were. Right. Today, it's about how things are going to be.
Right. So forget Beth. And they cut that part out. But I thought Maggie and Glenn were a little boring in this episode. Okay, but I did sort of wonder, was it really necessary for them to leave the group? Like, I hope they get some story material that makes it interesting that they left their people.
Right.
I loved seeing the huge horde of Zeds, even though they were so far off you could barely see, but you could see well enough that it looked like the biggest group we've ever seen, I think.
And maybe we can fight our way through it.
It just seemed really, really ominous. Like, it's a whole world of Zeds. Yeah, you can't. Abraham was wrong. They would not have gotten through that. Yeah. No way.
You smoking crack? What are you doing there?
I would have liked to seen them try, though.
Yeah, sure.
In the big fire truck. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Mm-hmm. And Eugene on top, spraying them all down.
The air intake would have been clogged with body parts, because that happens.
Maybe there was acid in that hose. I like that the group, both groups, all the group, they have people that have come from different groups, and almost none of them started out together. You used to have all Herschel's clan, and you had the prisoners, and you had, Shane and Lori and Carl and Rick. Well, now I was thinking, who are the people that knew each other before the apocalypse? You got Rick and Carl, Maggie and Beth, though Beth may never meet up with Maggie again. I kind of have doubts that she will.
Oh.
We'll see. Tyrese and Sasha. That's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, we just found out this episode that Abraham didn't know Eugene, or I don't think Rosita.
Yeah.
So people, it's like we're getting like the last survivors of all these different groups.
Right.
Coming together.
Right.
That's it. I wonder, I can't wait to see what happens with Abraham next. They keep going back and forth, so we might have to wait a couple of weeks.
I think we're going to see next week. I think that next week's going to be an Atlanta-based one. That's just my thought.
Cool. All right, let's do some listener responses.
All right, this first one comes from Tammy Allen, who writes, some parts were so dark I couldn't see what was going on. I know.
I got a lot of complaints about that.
It was really dark.
Yeah.
And not just, dark emotionally, but...
Dark, like, what is happening? Are there people on the screen?
Yeah.
I hear talking. Shelley D. Ford Pritherick says, my least favorite of the season. I just can't seem to connect with any of the new characters in the group. In 10 minutes with the kid that escaped great hospital people, I knew I liked him. I see no worth of Abraham's group.
She liked Noah. Kristen Halberg writes, it was all right, but seriously, I can't handle not seeing the core characters week after week. It's ridiculous. You know what? I got to say, I think it was the second week in a row we didn't see Rick, which was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I hated.
I love it.
It's ridiculous. It's what I hated about the back half of last season. 3 episodes left, and we have had almost zero Michonne, Daryl, Carol, and Carl. That's insane. The last 2 episodes could have been 1 episode, and then we could have moved on. It was a good episode, don't get me wrong, but I love the core group, and I miss them terribly.
Stephen Leanne says, I loved it. Abraham flashbacks. Eugene destroying the walkers with the fire hose. Yeah. Abraham and Rosita finally getting it on. Hashtag Tennessee Top Hat. Eugene finally confesses, loved it. So divisive episode again this week.
Tennessee Top Hat is a mullet.
Apparently. I can believe that.
Tennessee.
It's very folksy sounding.
Top Hat. Yeah, it really is. Alan Ames, right. I enjoyed it. Wasn't the most action-packed, but they can't all be. I'm just